Act 2, the threat. The second attack didn't come with fists, it came with malice. Daniel had been walking home again, his backpack bouncing against his shoulders, the bruise from last week's ambush still purple across his cheek. The boy had been trying to listen, trying to be tougher, like his father told him. But kids don't grow calluses overnight. He never saw the ambush coming. 4 shadows moved out from behind a convenience store. The same bully, flanked by his crew, cornered him against the brick wall. They didn't speak much this time. No jokes, no mocking, just fists, knees, and boots. Daniel covered his head like his father had told him, but the blows rained harder than he could withstand. When the bully pulled a pocket knife, the others held Daniel down. The blade nicked his ribs, a shallow but deliberate slice, just enough to prove they could end him whenever they wanted. Then they dropped him in the dirt like garbage and walked away laughing. When the man saw his son that night, bandaged and trembling, something inside him shifted from anger to something darker, a kind of clarity. The next day, he drove straight to the other boy's house. The place wasn't really a house anymore. It was a fortress of dysfunction. A sagging porch light swung above dented cars with tinted windows. The bass of rap music thumped from inside. The smell of weed thick in the air. Half a dozen men lingered on the porch and lawn, bottles in hand, tattoos crawling up their necks like warning signs. He pulled his truck into the dirt driveway, heart hammering. Every instinct told him this was dangerous. But instinct didn't matter anymore. His son was in danger, and a father's duty outweighs fear. He stepped out, his boots crunching gravel, and walked toward the porch. "Where's your boss?" he demanded, voice steady, masking the storm in his chest. Laughter broke out. One of the younger men leaned forward, smoke curling from his lips. "Boss? This ain't no office, old man. Who you even supposed to be?" "I want the boy's father." Now his voice carried weight this time, sharper, colder. The goons chuckled, whispering between themselves. One mimed a crying gesture. Another spread his arms mockingly. "You here 'cause your kid can't fight? Go buy him a helmet, man." His fists clenched at his sides, nails digging into his palms. But he didn't move. He knew one swing here meant never walking back. Then the screen door creaked open. Out stepped the bully's father. A man thick in the shoulders, his belly heavy but his posture still predatory. Tattoos covered both arms, and gold teeth glinted when he smiled. A short pistol was tucked in his waistband, casual but deliberate. "Well, look who it is," he said, his voice slow, syrupy with menace. "The hero daddy. Come beggin'." The man straightened. "Your boy and his friends jumped my son. Twice. Last night they pulled a knife on him. If it happens again, I'm calling every cop, every lawyer, every channel that'll listen. You keep your son off mine." The porch erupted in laughter again, but the father only stepped closer until they were nearly nose to nose. His breath reeked of whiskey. "Your son's weak," he said flatly, "and weakness gets eaten in this world. That's how it goes. If your boy can't stand up, then maybe he ain't meant to stand at all." The man's stomach twisted, but he held steady. "He's a child. You want a problem with me, we can handle it." The bully's father smirked, tilted his head, and lowered his voice. "Handle it? You don't get it, do you? I'll put your boy in the ground if you keep pushing this. I'll make sure you bury him before he ever grows into a man. Don't test me." Silence hung like a blade. The man saw the smirks, the sneers of the other gang members, the flash of gold teeth in the porch light. Every instinct screamed at him to swing, to scream, to tear that smile off the bastard's face. But he also saw the pistol in his waistband, the half-dozen men watching, waiting for an excuse. One father against a pack of wolves. He turned and walked back to his truck, their laughter following him into the night. Days later, tragedy struck. Daniel was cornered again, this time on his way from practice. The attackers didn't hold back. The bully slammed him against a fence, while the others laid into him. When Daniel gasped for air, when his face was slick with blood, the knife came out again. This time, they didn't stop at a cut. By the time he was found, bleeding into the dirt, he was barely conscious. The man arrived at the hospital to find doctors rushing, machines beeping, nurses muttering under their breath. He caught a glimpse of his son's body, bandaged, pale, hooked up to IVs, and it was like the world collapsed inward. He pressed his forehead to the cold wall outside the ICU, fists trembling against the tile. Rage threatened to consume him whole, but behind it was something sharper. Resolve. The boy's mother arrived in tears, clutching her chest as she looked at her son through the glass. She wasn't his partner anymore. They lived separate lives, separate homes. But in that moment, the fracture didn't matter. They were bound by the boy lying broken between them. She turned to him, voice trembling. "What are we gonna do? What if he doesn't make it?" He swallowed hard, his voice gravel when it came out. "He's gonna make it. But listen to me. No one will ever touch him again. Not after tonight." Her eyes widened, wet with fear. "What do you mean?" He shook his head. He couldn't say it, couldn't put the words into air. He simply placed his hand on the glass, on the reflection of his son's battered frame, and whispered, "I'll handle it." Tears slid down his cheek, hot and unrelenting. For years he'd told himself he wasn't a violent man, that his anger could be caged, that he could rise above. But now, staring at his boy's fragile chest rising and falling, he knew the truth. Sometimes violence is the only language monsters understand. That night, when he walked out of the hospital and into the cool, dark air, something final clicked inside him. There would be no more warnings, no more conversations, no more appeals to law or reason. They had threatened his son. They had nearly killed him. Now, it was his turn to answer. And when he answered, it would be with fire and blood.
We appreciate you taking the time to experience our stories. Every view, like, comment, and share helps keep this dream alive. At jcstoryteller LLC, we're dedicated to crafting emotional, powerful, and unforgettable narratives that connect with real people. If this story touched you, inspired you, or made you think, please consider subscribing and joining our growing community of story lovers. Your support means the world. Thank you for being part of the journey.